Arabic. You know, we cook the same food that we used to cook in Iraq. So I'm very much Iraqi as well. And this is the problem, because on the one hand, you know, I have a lot of affection for the Iraqi people, but on the other hand, I am very much hurt by what happened to us in Iraq.
Under European colonial powers, dhimmi laws were largely abolished and many Jews flourished. But in the 1930s, a tide of Arab nationalism swept the countries of the Middle East as they emerged from colonial rule. Strident Arab nationalist leaders often made Jews a scapegoat for social discontent.
There was a pattern of Arab government, state-sanctioned, indeed state-orchestrated repression, which included intimidation, harassment, beatings, persecution, and even murder.
Many political parties, like even in the 40s, when the Ba'ath Party, of which everybody talks today, was exactly born along this line, some kind of dictatorial, let's say, thinking about the thing that where nationalism was very strong, exactly like National Socialism in Germany.
Haj Amin al-Husseini, the Palestinian Mufti, was meeting with the Fuhrer himself, with Hitler, and proposed a final solution to the Jews throughout the Middle East and North Africa. And the Hitler, of course, was delighted.
In 1940, Haj Amin al-Husseini was the most prominent leader of the Palestinian Arabs and the head of the Arab Higher Committee, the central political organization of the Arabs of Palestine. He and Hitler discussed plans to establish concentration camps in the Middle East. He delivered a radio address to the Arab world on Nazi radio saying, "Arabs, rise as one man and fight for your sacred rights. Kill the Jews wherever you find them." His words reverberated across the Middle East.
In Iraq, in the 1930s, you had the pro-Nazi government, which led to the Farhud in 1941, in which Jews were completely massacred. What happened was that the mobs went rioting through the Jewish ghetto. They would pull babies apart from their limbs till they broke. They would rape women and daughters in front of the families.
They pulled the Jew among all passengers in the bus. Who is the Jew? And they did the Jew out, they killed them outside the bus. Or they entered the houses and they looted. Jews run from roof to roof. In Baghdad, you know, the houses are closed, are very close, and you can run on the roof. Some of the neighbors of the Jews, they were with those who attacked their neighbors, with the police, and they killed, they looted, and that's what they did, and they forgot all the friendship.
Throughout Libya, Egypt, you know, all these different countries, Syria, you hear all of these instances of riots leading to torture, massacre of Jews.
اليهود كلاب العرب. The Jews are the dogs of the Arabs. Or اذبح اليهود. Slit the throat of the Jews. Slaughter the Jews. These were not only on posters, but the people were chanting them. And this was scary to see a crowd coming towards you chanting اذبح اليهود, kill the Jews.
This wasn't just mobs and demonstrations. This was actual killings of civilians, innocent civilians who were Jewish. And it really created a tremendous fear in the Jewish population, especially for my own parents. My mother had to run through rooftops to escape the mob that was out to kill many of the Jews in her neighborhood.
כן, אני הייתי בת 13 באותו זמן. בזמן המוראות. וראיתי את הזוועה הזאת, ועד היום, מול העיניים שלי. הערבים קמו והורגים, שורפים והורגים, והתחילו לפרוץ בתים, להרוג, לשבור, להושיב. ואנחנו פחדנו מאוד.
רצתי והם רצים אחריי, רצתי ורצים אחריי עד שתפסו אותי. הרביצו עד כמה שנמאס להם. וזה הסימן, תראה, רצו לחתוך את הידיים ואת הרגליים ואת הראש כמו מפה עם גרזנים, עד שנמאס להם וחשבו שאני מת.
נכנסתי חדר, מצאתי ילדים אחרי מה. 6, 7, 8. קטנים, תינוקות, ככה, 10. שכל הבית, ערימה אחת. סגופים. ריח של בן אדם, של בשר בן אדם, ריח אותו. קשה.
My neighbor, who was an Egyptian Muslim, actually saved our lives because he came down and told the mob that was rioting that there was no Jews living in the building, which was not true. My family were in hiding.
In that kind of instability, the only thing you really have left is the trust in a good friend who can help you out of difficult situations, like the righteous Gentiles, you know, the righteous Arabs. And there were some. You can't let anyone tell you there weren't. There were a lot of Arabs who were very good to the Jews.
Individuals showed compassion, but leaders continued to incite hatred. Arab governments placed new pressures on Jews that made conditions unbearable.
We're talking about Nuremberg-type laws which criminalized being a Jew and characterized Jews as enemies of the state, which stripped Jews of their citizenship, which sequestered or forcibly seized their property and assets.
In 1941, there was one nationalist leader, Kailani, who organized a big uprising against the British occupiers and so forth. And they take the same opportunity to massacre the Jews. And in Farhud, they also massacred the Jews. The British interfered, and after they massacred what they massacred, the things ended. But it has to be always pointed out that anti-British sentiment went with anti-Semitic sentiment.
When I witnessed the persecution, the hatred within the school and within the neighborhood, within the city, within the country of Iraqis, I came into decision, and my mother, my parents also, that country wasn't so our country, and we had to leave.
بدون رجوع meant without the chance of coming back, a one-way trip. This is what the Egyptian government did to many Jewish families. When they kicked them out, they stamped on their travel documents, بدون رجوع. We don't want to see you again. This is a one-way trip.
Well, in 1948, we were some 100,000 Jewish in Egypt. And now you can find there only perhaps 20, 30 old people. So we could say